What if I told you that one of Hollywood's most celebrated sex symbols thought California could simply be moved closer to New York? Or that a leading man turned down the most iconic role in cinema history because he didn't understand why anyone would care about a guy moping about some dame? And here's the kicker, which golden age beauty was actually a genius inventor, yet dismissed as brainless simply because she was too beautiful? For decades, Hollywood's publicity machine sold us a fantasy that movie stars were as brilliant as they were beautiful. But behind the glamorous facades lurked some of the most staggeringly unintelligent people to ever earn $1 million paycheck. According to a former MGM publicist who worked with dozens of stars in the 1950s, the studios worked overtime hiding how dumb some of these people really were. They'd have writers prepare witty quotes for interviews, have stand-ins take intelligence tests for fan magazines, and in extreme cases, simply cancel all unscripted appearances. A veteran director remembered spending 3 hours trying to explain to a major star why they couldn't shoot a night scene at 10 a.m. She kept suggesting they just turn the sun off, and when told that wasn't possible, she asked if they could call someone important who could make it happen.
There's no front line in Vietnam, you know. It was in Benoit. The fighting is everywhere.
Jane Mansfield, the bombshell whose brain was a dud. Jane Mansfield was Hollywood's answer to Marilyn Monroe, a platinum blonde bombshell with measurements 40-21-35. Fan magazines mentioned her supposedly sky-high IQ of 163, and publicity photos showed her reading philosophy books in bubble baths. But according to a makeup artist who worked with her on multiple films, Jane wasn't just playing dumb, she was catastrophically confused about everyday things. She once asked why the studio didn't just move California closer to New York so people wouldn't have to fly so far, and she was completely serious. During a European press tour, she allegedly asked a British journalist if Europe ever had any summer or if it was always just England weather. One director became so frustrated that he developed a color-coded system. Blue scene meant be sad, red scene meant be angry. According to a script supervisor, anything more complex than primary emotions was beyond her reach. Perhaps most telling was Mansfield's inability to recognize when she was being mocked. One filmmaker told her she had transcendent perpendicular energy, and she spent the whole day telling everyone about this amazing quality she apparently possessed.
The child of 5 should be able to do it.
Maybe you ought to go out and get a child of 5.
This takes a little patience.
Sonny Tufts, the human punchline. Which star became so problematic that their own studio did something unprecedented? They actually apologized for signing him. When comedians in the 1940s and 50s needed a guaranteed laugh, they'd mention Sonny Tufts. A Paramount production manager revealed that Sonny wasn't just dim, he was a perfect storm of stupidity and alcohol. He once showed up on the completely wrong set and when told he wasn't in that film, argued that he must be the star because, look at my face. The most infamous incident occurred at a Hollywood charity event where a thoroughly intoxicated Tufts was found passed out in a children's petting zoo with several alarmed rabbits hopping on his unconscious body. After a particularly disastrous public appearance, Paramount released a statement apologizing for his behavior. A former publicity director marveled that they'd never seen another studio actually apologize for signing an actor. It was unprecedented.
But I couldn't do any front bumps in those days.
Oh, that wasn't allowed?
No.
Just side bumps?
Just side bumps in the arms.
Yeah.
Mamie Van Doren, the blonde who couldn't keep decades straight. According to a former Universal publicist, every Mamie Van Doren unscripted interview sent the publicity department into panic mode. During a press junket for a war film in the 1950s, she allegedly told a stunned reporter that she thought World War II happened sometime in the 1970s. When gently corrected, pointing out they were currently in the 1950s, she reportedly looked confused and asked, "Are you sure?" A co-star explained that she would argue passionately about completely incorrect things. She once insisted that Abraham Lincoln invented the telephone, and when someone mentioned Alexander Graham Bell, she said he was that guy who rang the Liberty Bell for freedom.
To hotel.
Right.
And we would do 2 acts of a play, or a play cut down to under 90 minutes.
Tony Curtis, the pretty face with the empty attic. Tony Curtis became one of Hollywood's most bankable stars with films like Some Like It Hot and Spartacus. But a director who worked with him admitted that trying to explain anything abstract to him was an exercise in futility. He once asked if Shakespeare was that guy who wrote Dracula. Curtis famously described acting as just talking loud with style. A co-star confirmed this wasn't modesty, that's genuinely how he understood the job. During the filming of Spartacus, director Stanley Kubrick reportedly had to break down Kuttis's dialogue line by line. A crew member recalled that Kubrick would spend hours explaining why his character would say something, only to have him suggest, "Can't I just say it louder?"
Hello, I'm Tab Hunter. Did you know that mental illness claims more victims than any other disease? That's right.
Tab Hunter, the heartthrob who couldn't find his mark. Tab Hunter was kept looking pretty and above all, kept from speaking unscripted words in public. A frustrated director revealed that Tab couldn't remember his blocking from one take to the next. Production crews began putting literal X marks on the floor with tape, with crew members frantically pointing from off-camera. A cinematographer described an elaborate system of hand signals. Pointing left meant walk left, tugging an ear meant say your line now, tapping a nose meant look at your co-star. Most alarmingly, Hunter frequently couldn't remember basic details about films he was currently promoting. During one junket, when asked about his character's motivation, Tab looked blank and asked, "Which movie is this one again?" He was literally on tour promoting it.
Just how big is it? How do you feel about me now?
I have an equivalent.
Hedy Lamarr, the dumb beauty who outsmarted everyone. Now here's where our story takes a fascinating turn. Hedy Lamarr was widely dismissed as intellectually limited, promoted purely as the most beautiful woman in the world. But in reality, she was a brilliant inventor whose work eventually helped enable technologies like GPS, Bluetooth, and secure Wi-Fi. What Hollywood didn't know was that Lamarr spent her evenings inventing. Along with composer George Antheil, she developed and patented a frequency-hopping spread spectrum technology designed to help guide torpedoes during World War II. When she tried to contribute her invention to the war effort, a military officer allegedly told her she'd be more useful selling kisses for war bonds. A biographer noted that she attended a party with Albert Einstein, and when she tried to join a technical conversation, even Einstein dismissed her. The ultimate vindication came in 1997 when she received the Electronic Frontier Foundation's Pioneer Award. Most people still use technology based on her work every single day.
I didn't have too many lines. Yeah, because I always played the guy that, with a gun or something.
George Raft, the king of bad decisions. George Raft turned down roles that became cinema classics: Rick Blaine in Casablanca, Sam Spade in The Maltese Falcon, Roy Earl in High Sierra, all parts that went to Humphrey Bogart and made him a legend. A Warner Brothers executive stated that George had the worst instincts in Hollywood. When offered Casablanca, Raft reportedly complained that Rick Blaine talks more than acts. According to a story editor, he told producers, "This guy spends the whole movie moping about some dame and talking about feelings." He completely missed that this internal struggle was what made the character compelling. When Casablanca won the Academy Award for Best Picture, Raft reportedly told people he still didn't get what the big deal was about, that nightclub movie.
Wait till we're married and then ask me. Well, then I don't have to tell you a thing.
We're as good as married.
Linda Darnell, the beauty who couldn't read her lines. Linda Darnell starred opposite cinema's biggest leading men, but a director who worked with her revealed that script readings were agony. A script supervisor explained that directors dealt with it by spoon-feeding her every line, reading each with the intended inflection, then having Linda repeat it back multiple times. Rather than acknowledging these challenges, Darnell developed avoidance strategies, constantly suggesting changes to reduce her dialogue. A screenwriter recalled she'd say, "Do I really need to say all this? Couldn't I just look concerned instead?" John Derek, the director who thought dialogue gets in the way. John Derek created films so intellectually bankrupt they stand as monuments to prioritizing physical beauty over everything else. A cinematographer stated that John didn't direct movies so much as photograph beautiful women in exotic locations. When directing Tarzan the Ape Man starring his wife Bo Derek, he reportedly told the production designer that sets didn't matter because nobody is looking at the background when Bo's in the shot. During script development, when a writer discussed character motivation, Derek allegedly responded, "My wife's body is enough. Dialogue gets in the way." After receiving devastating reviews, he reportedly expressed genuine confusion, telling an associate, "But Bo was nearly naked for half the movie. What more could they possibly want?" These stories reveal the stunning gap between Hollywood's carefully crafted images and the disappointing reality behind them.